was a lot of laughing going on earlier today here at Spectrum Field as the Phillies prepared for today's matchup against the Baltimore Orioles. Still a lot of teaching going on. Matt Stairs has been happy with a lot of the hitters so far. Pete Buchanan's been running some drills before each game. And I think right now, looking at the way the team has been playing, 2-2 in the first 4 games, he's happy with a lot of the pieces that have been putting together from an offensive standpoint. He's also happy with some of the additions the Phillies have put together since last year. Take a look at some of the contracts that have been handed out, just one-year deals, contracts that were handed out this past offseason for the Phillies to shore up the bullpen with Neshek and Benoit, to shore up the outfield with Saunders, and to shore up the starting rotation with Clay Buchholz. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, along with Ben Davis. You saw those Clay Buchholz numbers. The Phillies acquired him in a trade from the Boston Red Sox, and it does seem to give them a nice balance from a veteran standpoint with Hellickson and also the youth like Jared Eichhoff, who we saw yesterday. I think the Phillies' expectations are that he is going to be a big foundation piece for 2017.
Absolutely, and that's one of the reasons Matt Klentak went out and got him. Obviously, has a rapport with Bob McClure, but one thing Clay Buchholz can do, he can give you a lot of innings, and I think especially moving to a different division, moving to a little bit bigger ballpark, he's going to be able to challenge hitters more, pitch to contact. You can see he's got some filthy stuff. When he's on, he is on. And I'm looking for him to throw that fastball a bit more and challenge hitters, not try and miss bats like he did when he was with Boston in the AL East.
Well, he's got a no-hitter under his belt during his career, lifetime record of 81 and 61 with 899 strikeouts. You mentioned he's durable. That's one thing that Bob McClure has talked about. And we asked Bob just what he remembers about Clay Buchholz because he had him in Boston.
Well, I had Clay in Boston, and he had a heck of a run. He did real well. I think I wish he worked a little faster. He works slow, but he can be very effective. You know, I expect him to do what Hellickson did last year. You know, I think he can do that. I think that he can pitch to where you have a chance to win almost every start that he pitches in. And hopefully he can stay on track mechanically, and when he is, he's pretty good.
Well, I think if he can do what Jeremy Hellickson did last year, that is going to be a huge boost for the Phillies' starting rotation. 21 starts last year, also worked under the bullpen. Mike Wright will make the start today for the Baltimore Orioles. Last year, he made 12 starts for the O's. Well, Matt Stairs, we mentioned, has been happy with a lot of the hitters, including Maikel Franco. Franco hit another home run yesterday. That's already 3 this spring. Pretty good sign. Lineups and first pitch when we return. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Citizens Bank, official bank of the Phillies. Visit citizensbank.com. By Toyota. The Toyota Safety First President's Day sales event is on. Toyota, let's go places. By Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. And by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Learn more at IBX.com. That is Scott Hamilton performing today's national anthem here at Spectrum Field as the Phils get set to take on the Baltimore Orioles. Another gorgeous day as the wind is basically the same as it was yesterday. The Fanatic has been in rare form already today, taking a lot of photos and some selfies as well. He's grabbed the camera a few different times. That's going to wind up on somebody's Facebook page, I would think. Let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Baltimore Orioles, brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Chris Dickerson will lead it off in right field. And we look at the Orioles lineup, you wondered, okay, how many of these guys are everyday players? Well, Caleb Joseph could be in the mix as far as catching goes for the Orioles, but they also have 2 Rule 5 draft picks that are in today's starting lineup. Santander, who is the DH this afternoon, and Tavares, who's in left field, that the Orioles are taking a peek at. They will face right-hander Clay Buchholz. Buchholz over from the Boston Red Sox organization, where last year between the bullpen and the starting rotation 8-10 with an ERA of 4.78. It was kind of an up and down season for him, Ben, but you know, when you look at the way he finished up for the Red Sox, the Phillies are hoping they can take that into the season. Yeah,
he did finish strong, and coming out of that bullpen, he really just said, you know what, I'm going out of the stretch. And you want to talk about repeating your delivery. It's a lot easier to do out of the stretch. Take a look at the scouting report, 92-97. Curve, cutter, change. He did throw a no-hitter, as you mentioned, in the open back in September of '07. So Clay Buchholz, this is, I think, really a refreshing start for him.
So Buchholz finishing up his warm-up tosses. I asked Cameron Rupp the other day about catching Clay Buchholz. How many times he got a chance to catch him in the bullpen. He caught him one time in a bullpen, but obviously this will be the first time in game situation. And I think that's always interesting, is a catcher getting used to a pitcher for the first time. Because there's a lot of movement on Clay Buchholz's pitches when he is right.
There sure is. Well, it's no easy task, and sometimes the ball just moves a bit differently than it does out of the bullpen when you get out here in a real game situation.
Well, here's Chris Dickerson, who is a major league veteran, but last year spent the entire season in Double-A Bowie for the Baltimore Orioles, where he hit over 300. In fact, his last major league season was in 2014. He was signed to another minor league deal this past offseason with his camp invite, and he swings at the first pitch, so we're underway. Mentioned that the wind is blowing. Would you say the same as yesterday? I mean, it looks similar.
About the same.
Temperature 82 degrees. We are 2 degrees lighter than the start of yesterday's ball game. No balls and 1 strike to Dickerson. Out of play again, 0-2. Ben mentioned the fact that Buchholz works from the stretch at all times. We asked Pete McCann last week if there was a thought to put him back into the windup, and he said no. He said we are going to go with him from the stretch because he's most comfortable, and you said repeating your delivery is the most important thing.
Well, the windups are just a lot of moving parts.
Up high, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Buchholz is a former first-round pick back in 2005. He is out of Angelina College in Texas. There have been a handful of major leaguers that have come out of Angelina College, and from a Phillies standpoint, the most notable is Clay Condrey, former Phillies relief pitcher. Umpires for this afternoon's ball game. Tom Hallion was scheduled to be the umpire yesterday, but he has finally arrived, and he is behind the plates. James Hoy, Vic Carapazza, Nick Lentz, who had the plate yesterday. Off the hands, blooped out towards short. Here comes Freddie Galvis, and he'll make the sliding grab.
Very often will you see a off-speed pitch hit in on a lefty like that, but exactly what happened. Freddie runs in, makes a nice play.
Yeah, that was up a little bit too.
Yeah. Freddie had a long way to run for that.
Here is Johnny Giavotella, who has been in the big leagues with the Angels and the Kansas City Royals. Playing second base today. Ground ball left side. Nice hop for Maikel Franco. And 2 quick outs here in the first inning.
I know it's early on in spring training. This is just game 5. But I have already seen more first pitch swings in spring training. Usually guys like to see a pitch, maybe check out a release point. But overall, there's a lot of first pitch hacking.
Well, we saw it yesterday in the loss to the Tampa Bay Rays. Buck Showalter, longtime Major League skipper, in his 19th year. He's over 500. He's managed the Yankees, the Diamondbacks, the Rangers, and now the Orioles. He's worked very well with Dan Duquette, the general manager of the O's. Here's Anthony Santander, who last year in Single A was a .290 hitter with 20 home runs and 95 runs batted in. He is a Rule 5 selection by the Orioles. In fact, he was the final Rule 5 pick in this year's draft. We mentioned the Orioles have 2 in their starting lineup today. He's DHing, but he is an outfielder by trade, but he had surgery at the end of last season, so he's not ready to play the outfield just yet.
Zamir, does he have the exact same batting stance as Victor Martinez with the Tigers?
It is very similar.
Very similar. It's uncanny.
He's a big kid for 22 and a kid who was only in Single A last year. As that ball gets away, and it's 3 balls and 1 strike. When the Orioles selected him in the Rule 5 draft, you know, there's no, when you make a trade for somebody, you can go and look at some of the medical records and things like that. Rule 5 draft, you don't look at any of that stuff.
Right.
So the Orioles hadn't realized, you know, what kind of a surgery he had on his shoulder, but he had bone spurs in his shoulder. As he draws a walk, 2-out walk. And Trey Mancini is coming up.
Number 67, Trey Mancini, first base.
Mancini last year hit .282 with 20 home runs overall. He had 13 of those home runs with Norfolk.
It's one of the biggest yards I've ever played
In Norfolk?
Oh, my. I mean, it is huge.
The ball's hit sharply through the hole on the left side. So 2 runners on now with 2 outs. And Logan Schaefer's coming up.
And the first pitch swing.
I wonder if Buchholz, even more so than some other pitchers, that you take that tact only because when he's on, there's so much movement, because he has a basket full of pitches.
Yes.
He's got a 4-seam fastball that can reach, that has reached 99. I mean, it may not do that anymore, but it has reached 99. 2-seamer, cutter, curve, change. But everything, you know, when he throws a fastball, particularly the 2-seamer, it runs.
Yeah.
Logan Schaefer takes on the outside corner. Orioles are 2-2. The Phillies are 2-2 this spring. Off the hands, out towards second. Scott Kingery waits. And although the Orioles got a couple of base runners, Buchholz is able to cruise through the top half of the first, onto the bottom of the first in a scoreless game. Dropped the game yesterday. Hoping to get back into the win column today. Let's look at his lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. All right, so a little different look to the lineup today for the Phillies. Chris Coughlin is in right field hitting third. And we mentioned Scott Kingery made that catch a moment ago. So Kingery is batting ninth and playing second base for the Phillies. Tommy Joseph back in the lineup. Last year, 21 home runs, third best among National League rookies. Now the Phillies will face right-hander Mike Wright, who last year in 18 games had a 5.79 earned run average. He's a big guy, former third-round pick in 2011 out of East Carolina.
Pirates.
These Carolina Pirates. That a boy, Ben. Way to know your Howard mascots.
I do what I can do, and I can do it, Tom. Mike Wright, 88 to 92, slider change curve. As you mentioned, he was their third-round pick in 2011. He will challenge you.
Yeah, the sinker is his fastball, but he does have a four-seamer as well. Freddie Galvis leads things off and takes the first pitch outside. Galvis last year, 20 home runs, 67 runs batted in. So that batting average, and we've talked about that, and it's part of what they would like to see him improve going into this season. Two and one.
I told Freddie today, I said, leadoff spot, huh? He said, yeah. I said, I need 2 stolen bases from you. He goes, I gotta get to first. I said, you can't steal first.
Well, he is 0 for 4 so far to start the season. Off the hands and out of play, 2-2.
I think this was intentional by Pete just to get him a couple more at bats.
A couple more bats, and they see a lot of fastballs in spring training early on, but as the leadoff hitter, you're probably going to see even more in spring training.
Yes.
Or foul. Took a bad hop past the glove of the ball girl.
Right through the wickets.
Remains 2-2 for Freddie Galvis. Mike Wright last year started in the rotation as the number 5 guy for the Baltimore Orioles. He is still battling for a rotation spot, but there's a thought that he could be used in the bullpen for the O's. That's it sharply, but right at the second baseman. And Galvis is retired, 1 away. Well, without Mike Wright in the rotation, this is what the Orioles have. Chris Tillman, Kevin Gossman, Dylan Bundy, who won 10 games last year, Wade Miley, the left-hander, and Ubaldo Jimenez just keeps on pitching.
Look at those ERAs. You say, man, they're big ERAs. Well, that ballpark is tough to pitch in.
And you mentioned it yesterday. I mean, it is the American League East, where you're playing the likes of the Red Sox and the Blue Jays, and got some boppers in those lineups. Howard Kendrick batting second. Line drive off the glove of Wright. What a play by Pivetta, and he's able to throw out Howie Kendrick. That ball was scorched back toward the middle.
Just to even get his glove on it. Quick reaction. Let alone the play by Pivetta. That ball was screaming. Just assumed that was going to get by Pivetta, but he recovers and makes a good play and gets enough on the throw to get Kendrick at first base.
Everyday second baseman for the Orioles is Jonathan Schoop. He has left for the World Baseball Classic. He's representing the Netherlands. And the Orioles are looking for some infield help. They're somewhat thin beyond their starters. J.J. Hardy at shortstop, Manny Machado at third. It's an excellent defensive infield. Chris Coghlan last year hit a .188. So far 0 for 4. 1 ball, 1 strike. Off the screen that's protecting the coaching staff. I don't think Bob McClure even flinched. Pete just told Bob that it just came right past us. Got Pete right on the neck. Two balls, 2 strikes to Coghlan. The bouncer foul past Mickey Morandini. Chris Dickerson will track it down. Phillies outfield is obviously set from a starting standpoint, at least at this point. Coghlan is one of those guys looking to get a spot off the bench. Swing and a miss. He's down on strikes. 1, 2, 3 go the Phils here in the bottom of the first inning. That's a pretty good breaking ball by Mike Wright. We'll head to the second in a scoreless game. Friday, April 7th, when the Phillies take on the Washington Nationals at 3:05. It's Nemours opening day, and a Phillies commemorative knit cap will be given out to all fans coming to the ballpark. Order your tickets now by going to Phillies.com. On to the second inning here at Spectrum Field. And Chris Johnson, the veteran third baseman, will lead things off. Johnson played last year with the Miami Marlins. He got a lot of playing time because of injuries a season ago. And he was able to stay healthy as that one has trickled foul. Johnson so far this spring is 2 for 8. outside with an off-speed pitch, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Chris Johnson's going to get a chance to play a lot more now that the WBC is around the corner, because a lot of the infielders we mentioned for the Orioles are heading to represent their respective countries. So he should get some extra time over at third base. Speaking of the WBC, let's check in with Greg Murphy.
That, Tom, is a perfect segue to what I'd like to talk about. Odubel Herrera not here at the ballpark today, not in Clearwater, as a matter of fact. He had to travel to New Orleans to sign some extra paperwork to get himself ready for the World Baseball Classic. Pete Buchanan telling reporters today that he expects he'll be back tomorrow and back in uniform. But one thing to look for when Odubel does come back in the World Baseball Classic, he's going to be playing a lot of left field. So Pete Buchanan saying he's going to get some work here in Clearwater in left field, but said make no mistake, Odubel Herrera is our starting center fielder going forward. But over the next couple of days, we will see him out in left field, just getting ready and, you know, taking a couple of fly balls from a different angle just to get ready for the World Baseball Classic. So you will see that here at Spectrum Field, but don't expect to see it once they head north at Citizens Bank Park, guys.
All right, Murph, we appreciate that. Odubel has taken some fly balls in left before. There's a liner to right, and Coughlin is able to knock it down, but then it trickles out of his glove. And they're able to get Chris Johnson, who had gone halfway, thought he dropped it, then thought he caught it, so he started back. And Coughlin's able to recover, and the fielder's choice goes 9-6.
Good play here by Coughlin, just not to let that ball get by him. Gets caught up in that webbing and ends up popping out. Recovers and gets Johnson to second base, though. I know Tavares wants a base hit there, but hey, at least he hit it hard.
He did hit it hard. Here's Caleb Joseph. Joseph so far is 2 for 4, and he does have an extra base hit. Hit 174 last year.
Clay does have some quick feet on that pickoff first base. Always has.
You know, he does, as Bob McClure talked about, he works slowly. And I wonder, from a base running standpoint, having the quick feet, working a little slowly, if he is able to keep the base runners off balance with that.
He can.
Breaking ball slips inside. Mentioned that Buchholz has a no-hitter under his belt. Not today, but during his major league career. In fact, he did it in only his second major league start. It was back in 2007, and it came against these Baltimore Orioles. Runner goes, pitches a breaking ball. Throw to second base is off the glove of Kingery, but they're going to get Tavares going to third base. He thought the ball went to center field. Freddie Galvis was there to back it up.
Great backup by Freddie, and Aaron Altherr was there as well. Heads up.
That was an excellent throw by Cameron Rupp.
You think? Right on the money. Right on the money. It was a very strong throw by Cameron, but watch how quickly he gets to his feet. Man, good transfer. Goes in and grabs it with his hand, doesn't flip it to his bare hand. Rifle.
You know, as soon as it left his hand, he's thinking, oh, I got him by about 3 steps. 1 ball, 1 strike. Down and away, 2-1.
What I really liked about Cameron there is that he didn't pop out of that stance. You need to stay, you need to keep your legs under you, but it's like hitting. You can't change your head level too high. If you get too tall, you'll throw sinkers down to second.
And by the way, you know the ball went off the glove of Kingery. I mean, it was an easy play. That's not like him. I mean, this is a very good defensive second baseman, at least from a minor league standpoint. He keeps looking at the tip of his glove. Breaking in some new leather, Ben.
That's right.
2-2. Out to right field, Chris Coghlan. Turns out to be an easy inning for Buchholz. He's got his work in here today after a 14-pitch first inning. He's able to close the Orioles out here in the second. On to the bottom of the second here at Spectrum Field. Back on home ice and look for 2 points against the Colorado Avalanche. Flyers versus Avalanche. Coverage begins at 6:30 over CSN. Well, Ben Davis and Greg Murphy. I'm Tom McCarthy. We head to the bottom of the second inning as Mike Wright is finishing up his warm-up tosses. All right, you really liked this throw by Cameron Rupp last inning.
I sure did, and he gets to his feet so quickly, but he doesn't. He keeps his legs underneath him. Just watch his knees right here. They get him in a good position. When he pops up, his head does not go up. Right, it stays down, it stays on level, going towards second base. So that's exactly what you want. And watch his mitt. He goes in manually and grabs that ball with his hand. He doesn't flip it to his hand. That is as good as it gets.
I think it's a great sign to see how strong the throw was. I mean, Cameron's a very good thrower.
Yes.
And he had a solid season last year. But, you know, he'll admit to you that there's certain pieces of the defense that he's trying to improve. Throwing has never really been an issue for him.
Throw it through a wall.
Here's Maikel Franco. You see 25 home runs, 88 RBIs a year ago. He already has 3 home runs this spring. 2 balls and no strikes.
Talked to Maikel this morning down in the dugout. I said, swing short, isn't it? He goes, that's all I'm trying to do is shorten that swing. I said, the result's pretty cool. He goes, yeah. I said, it's a lot of fun, isn't it? And he goes, I'm having fun right now.
And there you go. That one is going to hook foul, but he hit it pretty good distance. Yesterday, his swing did not go foul.
Just to it and throw it. The extension is just something else. The ball was screaming getting out of here.
Franco will be followed by Michael Saunders and Tommy Joseph. Fly ball on the right side of the infield. One away. Is that an indication where you want him to go the other way?
Yes.
And I know, the only reason I'm bringing it up because we've talked so much about it, but for him is to try to go the other way.
You could see his left hip, his left shoulder just started to bail right there, and there's no way he can really reach that outside pitch and do anything with it, or drive it for that matter. Let's watch his front hip there and his left shoulder gone. There's nothing left. There's nothing left to hit with. You get out there. Now that ball's middle of the plate and elevated.
Saunders takes strike one. Heard from Michael Saunders yesterday. He talked to Murph about being excited about how much he was wanted here in Philadelphia. Talked to a lot of the Blue Jays coaching staff, and they said he was just a great kid to have in the clubhouse. They said he worked his tail off. Blue Jays lost Edwin Encarnacion. They were able to sign Kendrys Morales. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Right side. Pivetta knocked it down and then couldn't pick it up. And Saunders is aboard, the first base runner of the day for the Phillies. Well, the games we've watched here at Spectrum Field, he's hit the ball pretty hard to the right side.
That's all you want to do. Pivetta does get to it. Worst thing you do is lift your head up when you're trying to reach for the ball. It's a lot of vowels in that name, Tom.
A lot of vowels.
A lot of vowels.
Rolls right off the tongue, though. There's Tommy Joseph. Joseph getting a chance to play first base again today. Phillies everyday first baseman going into this season. A little early for Genmar time, but it is almost time for him to come in. Fly ball left field. Tavares going back, and that one is long gone. Man, did that ball carry. It almost sounded as if it was toward the end of the bat, but it wasn't.
Well, I like that it didn't hook foul. That means he's staying through it. Ball looked to be down and in on Tommy, and if you get out and around it, you're going to hook that ball foul. Much like Mike Kell did earlier this inning, but he stays through this. Yep. See the extension? Man alive.
Yeah, that did not go toward the end of the bat. It just sounded a little different off the bat, but it hits the top of the tiki bar. So a 2-run home run has given the Phils a 2-0 lead here at the bottom of the second. First hit of the day. And Cameron Rutten lines a missile to right field. And it was caught by Dickerson. And there are 2 outs.
It's a perfect spring training out. You smoke a ball and you don't have to run.
Some smiles for Tommy Joseph. Phillies have some great expectations for Tommy this year based on what he was able to accomplish last season in less than a full season of work.
You don't want to get ahead of yourself, but you could have 2 corner, third base and first base that combine for 60 home runs.
Well,
you could.
That's the hope. Right.
That's the hope.
Yep. Because the Phillies need power somewhere, and they were getting it from Tommy for most of the second half of the year.
But with that swing and the swing we've seen Mike Kell have in the early part of spring, there's no reason why they can't get to that.
Aaron Altair bounces one foul. Altair getting a chance to play center field today, and he will get a chance to play center field when Odubel comes back from his excursion to New Orleans to get some paperwork done, and then heads out to the World Baseball Classic. Aaron so far is 0 for 3. Floated to left field, a base hit. That's his first hit of spring training.
Cutting down number 80, Scott
He stayed on that breaking ball nicely.
He sure did.
Didn't pull off. Towards the end of the bat, but stayed through it.
Well, now Scott Kingery, who is the number 9 batter in today's lineup. Last year he split time between single A and double A. You see his numbers from single A where he hit .293. No balls and 1 strike. Kingery is 22 years old. He'll be 23 on the 29th of April. Former 2nd round pick in 2015. Into the University of Arizona. That one is hit toward third, and it's caught out of the air by Chris Johnson. And it'll wrap up the 2nd for the Phils. But Tommy Joseph has given the Phils a chance to strike first. Look at the heads turn as that ball leaves the bat. Goes off the top of the tiki bar. 2-0 Phils. TV Premium is back and better than ever. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Plus, enjoy almost 300 spring training games and the 2017 World Baseball Classic. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Clay Buchholz's afternoon is complete. He went 2 scoreless innings for the Phillies. And allowed 2 hits along the way. And now Genmar Gomez will take over for the Phillies. Set aside the month of September, and I know it's hard to do that. Genmar had himself a fantastic year. Second half of the season, his earned run average was 8.33, but that's because his September numbers were like nothing you've ever seen before. His ERA in September was 19.13. But Pete said a few weeks ago that he believes Genmar deserved to be called the Phillies closer at this point. And, you know, to Genmar's credit, he said, I'll pitch in the 9th inning, I'll pitch in the 8th inning. It doesn't matter. But I think if he closes 37 games like he did last year, it'll matter at the end of the season when he's due some extra money.
Yeah.
Here's Robert Andino.
Just it does seem awkward to see your closer come in. I remember San Diego, we had Trevor Hoffman, or number 2 on the all-time list, come in. He would always pitch the 5th inning. It just seemed awkward because you're used to the Hell's Bells coming out and AC/DC, and here comes Trevor Hoffman in the 9th to close it, and all of a sudden in spring training he's coming out in the 5th. It just didn't feel right.
And part of that is they want to get them their work. They also want them to work with the main catcher, who usually is out after, let's say, 4 or 5 innings or a few at bats. Had a play down the right field line. And it remains 0-2. Jason Aquino is loosening up in the bullpen for the Orioles. After Mike Wright went 2 innings. Just a bit low, 1-2. There's Nick Pivetta loosening for the Phillies. He's scheduled to go 2 innings today. And he's about ready to leave for the World Baseball Classic also. Off the plate, Cameron Rupp is there and then fires to first. Very confident play by Cam. 1 out. We'll go to the top of the order, and we'll go down the left field line for Greg Murphy.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. And yes, so it begins for Clay Buchholz. You get your first work in as a Philly in game action, and you and I were just chatting a little bit about it. Maybe a little bit of a different approach for you. You know that spring is a long spring, so you're taking your time and working your way in.
Absolutely. You know, just being fortunate enough to be around the veterans that I have been able to be around throughout my career. Try to, you know, listen to what they see and watch what they do and how they go about it. And, you know, I felt like the approach coming in would be more of a relaxed approach, just getting a feel for the pitches instead of going all out and throwing 100% max effort, you know, just easing yourself into it. And I've never really done that before, so this is basically my first time to do that. But it felt, you know, it felt good. That's how you get your work in spring, and that's how you get better.
You know, in that same vein, there's been so much talk about the tweaking that you did to your mechanics at the end of last year. And now you bring it into this year, and now we're going to have a full season with that. How excited are you to take that into a full season and see what you can do? Yeah,
you know, I felt comfortable last year. You know, I was bouncing back a little bit from starting in bullpen. And being in the bullpen, a lot of the times you're coming in with runners on base, so I felt like it would be a good move to go from the stretch and minimize movement, and that's what it did. I was getting into bad habits out of the windup with drifting and not letting my arm catch up to my body. So I figured I'd just cancel all the movement out and go from the stretch and slide step, and that way you can mess with hitters and you know, every pitch is coming out at the same time rather than with a big leg kick, and it's you know, it feels comfortable, and that's what it's all about. It's all about being comfortable.
But, you know, we said before, we were talking before the game, we had heard from Bob McClure about his time with you in Boston. And what do you remember about working with Bob, and what are you looking forward to working with Bob here in Philadelphia?
Yeah, you know, he understands the game, and he knows that pitchers aren't robots, and nobody's the same. And you just don't teach one set of mechanics. You got to try to sort of do with the mechanics that guy has, and that's what he's good at. And you know, I'm looking forward to spending a whole year with him. It was it wasn't the best of years in 2012 when he was with us, but you know, like I said earlier, we have some good young talent and some veteran presence here, and I think that goes a long way.
All right, well, we're looking forward to watching you in a Phillies uniform. We appreciate it, Clay. Thanks for your time.
Yes, sir.
Guys, back upstairs.
All right, Murph. 6-3 put out by Freddie Galvis. Career numbers for Clay Buchholz: 81 wins, 61 losses, and an ERA of just under 4 in the American League East. And as we mentioned before, threw a no-hitter in just his second major league appearance with the Boston Red Sox. What'd you think today? Looked pretty good, eh?
Yeah, I liked what I saw.
I like the fact that there are 2 veterans like Jeremy Hellick's and Clay Buchholz part of this rotation. Just, you know, 2 good pieces.
Yeah. Definitely 2 pieces that younger pitchers can learn from. When to add and subtract.
Here is Anthony Santander. Orioles scored their run of this inning. As Murph was talking to Clay Buchholz, Chris Dickerson went the opposite way against Genmar Gomez. Genmar didn't give up a boatload of home runs last year. His issue was in the second half of the season something that was not an issue in the first half. Deep counts and just lots of base hits backing up against each other.
I think he got tired towards the end of the year and was elevating the baseball. You're a sinker ball guy. You start to elevate pitches. You get tired. That sinker comes up and it gets hit.
1 ball, 1 strike. Line drive, caught. So the 1 run on the home run is all for the Orioles here in the 3rd. Genmar 1 inning. He's done for the day. We'll head to the bottom of the 3rd. Is brought to you by WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy rights. Well, Ben, they're building the forts out here. The Osprey are building the forts. Some twigs. That thing's getting bigger by the day.
Yeah.
Not the Osprey, but the nest. Every Osprey is supposed to have a bell like that one has right there, where it taps it when it comes back. Didn't it look like a bell?
They tap it and the fish just gets delivered to them?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Looked like a bell that you put on the front desk of a hotel.
It did.
Here's Jason Aquino, who pitched 25 games last year in the minor leagues. Started 19. And an ERA of 3.72. And he'll face the top of the Phillies order, Freddie Galvis. (6'1", 225 pounds. Orioles acquired him before the start of last season. He actually got a chance to pitch 3 games last year for the O's. Freddie Galvis out to shallow left center field. Logan Schaefer says he's got it. McDonald's opening night T-shirt will be given out on Saturday, April 8th. It's for fans 15 and older. It's all part of the Washington National Series. It'll take place between the 7th and the 9th. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. Howie Kendrick takes strike 1. Kendrick hit one sharply off the glove of Mike Wright his first time up, and then was flagged down by the second baseman Pivetta.
No stopwatch needed for Jason Aquino. Gets it and he's ready to go.
There's that changeup again. It's the 3rd straight changeup that he's thrown. That's his out pitch. He has a very good changeup. They labeled it as above average. And he's got an excellent curveball too. He's played for 5 different teams during his professional career. Orioles relievers had the lowest ERA at 3.40. Part of that was, as Kendrick goes down on strikes, is that they had an unbelievable closer in Zach Britton. Howie Kendrick, you might hear in the background, he's talking to Pete McCannon about what the pitches were that were just thrown. Whatever they were, they had good movement on them. There's Chris Coughlin. Coghlan struck out his first time up. Orioles, we mentioned, have Zach Britton as their closer. He's been dealing with a sore side right now. They've got a couple of guys that haven't gotten any work yet. And Buck Showalter was saying the other day that with the length of spring training being a little thicker than past years because of the World Baseball Classic, as Coghlan fouls that one off his foot, they're waiting for a couple of their relievers to actually get into the routine of work because it is a longer spring training.
Right.
Guys like Darren O'Day.
And you have someone like Zach Britton, you want to make sure he is 100% before sending him out to the mound. He is, that sinker he throws from the left side is just special.
Two balls, two strikes to Coghlan. And ball four. So after striking out his first time up, Coghlan works out the walk. And that gives Maikel Franco a chance to bat here in the third.
Nice AB there. I got down in the count. 0-2. Able to battle back to a walk.
The Orioles last year 545 walks. So you have the best ERA bullpen wise, but then you have the most walks. Now a lot of that's starting rotation guys, but still.
Cannot walk people in that ballpark.
You saw the average at the bottom, which was 485, and they had 60 more than the average.
Yeah.
Inside, 2-0. Day today, huh? I mean, I know yesterday was beautiful too, but there's a little bit of that breeze coming in off right center field.
Beautiful.
A little more comfortable today. Another throw over to first base. How many times as a catcher are you calling this in spring training? I mean, or is the pitcher told if a guy gets on, you need to throw over a couple times during spring training?
It's coming from the bench. I mean, he's obviously can throw over on his own.
But they're doing this on purpose, right? I mean, this is to, get them ready for the rhythm of holding a runner on.
Sure, absolutely. See Caleb Joseph looking over towards the dugout. It's definitely coming from the bench.
Speed pitch, boy, he does have a good changeup. I mean, look at that one. That changeup followed the curveball, and it was basically the same kind of movement.
It's exactly where you want to be. 10 miles an hour different. Not only is it difference in speed, but it's also dipping and diving away from Maikel.
He may get it again here.
I just keep throwing until they hit it.
Nope, breaking ball. And he's over the top of it. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Aquino. We have played 3. Somebody's got a buddy. We'll head to the 4th. That's like Ben and Murph sharing an apartment down here in Clearwater. April 10th when the Phillies take on the New York Mets. It's all part of a 3-game series. Get your tickets now by going to Phillies.com. Fanatic's been busy today, hasn't he?
Must have had a good lunch. Some energized them, huh?
Fans are looking to take some photos with the Fanatic. Here's Nick Pivetta to start the top of the 4th inning for the Phils. Pivetta last year in 27 combined games was 12-8 with an ERA of 3.27. 24 years old from Victoria, British Columbia. Over the mound and under the glove of Freddie Galvis. And Cedi didn't hit it all that hard, but he hit it in the right spot. And a leadoff single here in the 4th.
That's a perfect example of, you know, I tell some of the young kids, they get so focused on the result. They get so result oriented that they lose track of, what, you know, hit the ball hard while I'm out. I'm 0 for 1. Who cares? Nick Pivetta right there. That's a good sinker. He got in on him and was able to just squirt the ball up the middle, but it was still a good pitch. Jammed him. So you can't get so result oriented.
But it is hard.
It is hard.
Here's Logan Schaefer, who popped out his first time up. Shows bunt, bunts it foul. And it's 0-1.
Easier for veteran players, not as easy for young kids, because they want to show, they want, you know, the numbers not to lie and to show the management what they can do.
Phillies acquired Nick Pivetta from the Washington Nationals in the Jonathan Papelbon deal. It's a pretty good piece to acquire. Last year, we mentioned he was 12-8 with an ERA of 3.27. He won 11 games in Reading with an ERA of 3.41. You see he's got great size. His fastball today is hitting 93, 94. He'll get to the mid-90s with it. Outside 3-1. He's about to leave for the World Baseball Classic as well. He will be representing Team Canada, which will be managed by Phillies catching instructor Ernie Witt. Pretty big thrill for him to represent his country. And ball 4. That was a close pitch, but Tom Hallion thought it was high. Here are the Phillies players who are leaving for the World Baseball Classic, with Pivetta down toward the bottom. Pat Neshek will help represent the United States. Hector Neris will represent the Dominican Republic. And Odubel, Genmar, and Ramos will all represent Venezuela. Kenny Koplov will represent Team Israel. Good pitch. I was looking at the roster for Team Canada. Former Phil Pedor is on that roster. Scott Matheson, former Phillies pitcher, who could throw 100 and is now throwing 100 in Japan and has been for the last several years. But how about some of these names that are popping up on Team Canada?
What do you got?
Ryan Dempster. That's right. Who's retired from baseball, but is no longer playing Major League Baseball, but he's not alone.
Right.
Eric Gagne is listed on the Team Canada roster. Seriously.
He's been out of the game for a decade.
It's got to be close to that. Fly ball foul off the bat of Chris Johnson. It's 2-2. Some other notables that are on the Team Canada roster include Freddie Freeman, who obviously lives in the United States, was raised in the United States, but both of his parents were born in Canada. So in honor of his mom's memory, he decided to play for Canada instead of playing for Team USA, because he felt like it was something for his mom's, who passed away when he was a kid, it was some way to honor his mom's memory. He played for Team Canada.
Very honorable.
Two balls, two strikes to Chris Johnson. Swing and a miss. Good breaking ball. First strikeout for Pivetta.
Breaking ball here, and Johnson way out in front. Just enough movement. Nice pitch.
Well, here is New Ray Tavares. First time up. Reached on a fielder's choice to right field. Tavares is out of the Red Sox organization. We mentioned the Orioles have 2 Rule 5 selections in today's lineup. He is one of the 2. Last year in AA in the Eastern League in Portland, he was their MVP. To the right side, Kingery. He'll get the middle runner, and there are 2 outs. 4-6 on the putout.
Going back to that World Baseball Classic, obviously I never had a chance to play in that, but
would you have?
I would have loved to.
Yeah.
Was able to play for the junior national team in the summer of '94 in Canada, and just to have USA across your chest, there's not a better feeling in the world.
Who was on your team?
Well, our left fielder was Randy Wolf.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling us this story.
Randy Wolf. Starting pitchers was Ryan Drees. David Ross was the other catcher on the team. Adam Pyatt was our shortstop.
You played ahead of him, right?
I did.
Okay, good.
Michael Barrett was our third baseman. So we ended up having, I think, 7 or 8 big league players on that team.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, Eric Gagne and Ryan Dempster are both retired.
Yeah.
Why did you not throw your name into the hat to be a catcher on Team USA?
Maybe bullpen catcher. No, obviously that's not within reach anymore, but yeah, I mean, just it really is a thrill. It just and an honor to represent your country.
Our own Sean Bowers, who's one of the Phillies clubhouse attendants at home and here in Clearwater, he is going to be the guy in charge of the clubhouse for Team USA.
Nice.
We'll tell him to get you a hat. 2-1 pitch coming to Caleb Joseph. Down the right field line, that'll slice out of play. Two balls, 2 strikes to Joseph. Runner goes from first. Fly ball down the left field line. Franco on the run. So is Galvis, and Mike Kell makes the catch. Pivetta shatters the bat. He leaves a couple of base runners. 20 pitches in his first inning of work. We'll move to the bottom of the 4th. Toyota. The Toyota Safety First President's Day sales event is on. Toyota, let's go places. And buy Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. And we had a show an Orioles fan today, so we decided to show him right there. Out on the berm here at Spectrum Field. Jason Aquino will begin his second inning of relief work for the Orioles. And he will face Michael Saunders, Tommy Joseph, Cameron Rupp. As we go to the home fourth, Phillies up 2-1. They've managed 2 hits today. Saunders reached on an error his first time up. One little cut on that first pitch.
He's just throwing strike after strike.
That floats foul down the left field line toward Murph. And out of play.
Oh, 2 again.
There's a changeup to the lefty as it dies inside.
What does that tell you as a hitter? Just be ready to hit. Now, just because he throws a lot of strikes doesn't mean you're just going to always throwing strikes. I'm going to just go swing at anything. It still has to be your pitch.
Out in front. It remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. Saunders batting 5th today. According to Pete Buchanan, he can bat 4th, 5th, 6th. He's not totally sure where he wants to use him. And just a bit outside. One thing Pete had said, and a lot of managers talk about this, it's going to depend on who's on the mound, lefty or righty. But also, if the bullpen is set up a certain way, he may want to split up lefties and righties. You know, go lefty, righty, lefty. Charlie used to like to do that a lot when he could. On the infield, Pivetta is able to track it down. Here comes Tommy Joseph, who in the second inning gave the Phils the 2-0 lead.
Well, hanging breaking ball off Mike Wright. Goes down and gets it and just crushes it on top of the tiki bar in left field. Good looking swing there. I think what Pete's going to do, though, I think when a righty's up, when the righty's starting, I think you're going to see Saunders behind Franco. When the lefty's starting, I think you're going to see Saunders hitting in front of Michael to provide, so Michael can provide a little bit of protection for Michael.
Does that move Odubel and Howie Kendrick, or do they stay where they are?
Could. Definitely could.
Well, I think everybody likes versatility. I think that's a key, is to be able to have a versatile lineup.
Or you might see Tommy Joseph backing up Michael 4-5 and then put Saunders in the 6 hole.
I think that may happen.
I don't see why it wouldn't.
Yeah. Particularly if Tommy, swings the bat the way he swung it for a good part of last year. 1-2 pitch to Joseph, and a strike 3 call. Third strikeout for Aquino. Tomorrow night on CSN, the Sixers are in South Beach to take on one of the hottest teams in the NBA. Sixers versus Heat. Coverage begins tomorrow night at 7 over on CSN.
Someone was at the game last night. The Warriors are in town. How about Steph Curry going 0 for 11 from the 3-point line?
I saw it go through the ticker last night. Yeah. Hey, sometimes you just don't have it, Ben.
He always has it.
Cameron Rupp with a check swing. It's 0-1. Cam hit one right on the nose his first time up.
He gets ahead, doesn't he, and just goes right to that changeup.
I'd go right to that changeup too, at least the way he's throwing it today. Swing and a miss. And Cameron is down on strikes. 4 strikeouts in 2 innings for Jason Aquino. We've completed 4 here at Spectrum Field. Phillies with a 2-1 edge over the Orioles. For the upcoming Phillies season, you get discounted ticket pricing, ticket exchange options, pre-sale opportunities, prepaid parking options. All season ticket packages feature an assortment of those benefits. For additional information and to purchase, go to Phillies.com. The little guy's got some Cracker Jacks, and he's wondered if somebody might have an extra baseball for him. Robert Andino takes low, 1 ball, no strikes. Two pitches for Pivetta. He threw 20 in his first inning of work. Scheduled to go 2 today. Over toward third. That's a fair ball for Andino. And Andino's going to get to second base with a leadoff double. Not a bad swing.
No, I waited back nicely on that breaking ball. Did not hook it. Tucks it in between the bag and Michael at third base. Nice piece of hitting.
Now Anieri Garcia starts to warm up in the bullpen for the Phillies. He's scheduled to throw 2 innings here today as well. Pivetta's scheduled to throw at least 2. Fastball outside to Dickerson, who homered his last time up the opposite way.
One thing I'd like to see Pivetta do is start to make the adjustments. When he misses with that fastball, it's in the same spot. He overcompensated there. And keep reaching up and away to lefty, up and away to a lefty. Now that tells me he's just flying open. Right there, he tried to overcompensate and just ended up yanking it down and in there to Dickerson.
One of the guys that would be able to repeat his delivery, and if he ever had to make an adjustment, better than most that we've ever seen, is Roy Halladay.
Yes.
And Halladay is a guy that Pivetta grew up watching because he was, from Canada, so he was a Blue Jays fan. 2 balls and no strikes to Chris Dickerson. Over to first base. That's a fair ball. Joseph stays down on it. The runner moves over to third. And 1 out here in the 5th. And Giovatello will be the hitter. Anyway, last week Pivetta actually got a chance to meet Roy Halladay for the first time, which must have been a great thrill. They were both attending a charity event in this area. And Pivetta said after meeting him, he said, well, he knew it was me because he knew I was his stalker. So Giovatello has grounded out twice. He's grounded out to third and short. Phillies are playing the infield, and they're working on their infield in defense.
Yeah, I was just going to say that you wouldn't normally see an infield in the 5th inning. A 2-1 ball game.
But that is what they're doing.
Yes.
Now, when you do this, and I know you're working on your defense, but is the pitcher working on something here too?
He's trying to induce a ground ball.
Right.
And just hope that ground ball goes at someone.
Right. So if they're back and he's got a runner at third, he's just trying to get an out.
Yes. Concede the run, but in this situation, no, you want to keep the ball in the infield.
One and two. Orioles have made some roster changes from last year to this year. Players that they have added for this season include Giovatello, Wellington Castillo, Chris Johnson we mentioned. They just traded for Nuno, and Seth Smith over from the Seattle Mariners. There's a chance he's going to be their everyday right fielder. Can also mix in a little bit and play be the DH. Matt Wieters just signed with Washington. He was the catcher for the Orioles for a long time. That ball is hit well deep to left field. Kendrick on the run. It is off the top of the wall. A run will score. Giovatello is on his way to third base, and he's going to get there in time. That'll be an RBI triple.
I have sworn that went over the fence.
I thought it did too.
Hoping it didn't. I don't know if it hit that brick wall in the background there, or yeah, I think that went over.
Yeah, it looked like it may have. You're right. Well, there's no replay here in spring training. So Giovatello will settle for a triple, but he has tied this game up at 2. And once again, the Phillies play the infield in. Santander up for the 3rd time. Back to the screen, 0-2. Freddie Galvis coming in just to get some rosin. Now Neary is probably ready in the bullpen. This may be the last batter for Pivetta, depending on what their high water mark is for pitches in the first outing. Into the O's dugout.
See a good 4-seam fastball hard in at the belt here.
Just off the plate on that one.
Yeah. I always talk about doubling up, but in my opinion, it's a perfect situation to go back in there. I think Santander's looking out over the plate again. Looks like they're going back out there, but it's got to be better than that.
Yeah, fly
right
ball to left field. Kendrick is shading his eyes from the sun. Giavotella is tagging from third. The throw by Kendrick toward the plate on one hop, not in time. And the Orioles take the lead. It's 3-2 here in the fifth. Sacrifice fly.
He was looking out over the plate there. I just think if you go back in there, okay, you rush one in on me. Now you're thinking he's got to go back outside. But if you double up inside right there, you're going to lock somebody up or get a jam shot towards the right side.
All right, so you're trying to think along with the hitter. All right, I came inside the hitter's thinking, oh, he's not going to come back in again. He's going to go toward the outer edge, so I'm going to cheat a little bit toward the outer edge.
Like he just that was a show me pitch. He's just trying to set me up.
Trey Mancini fouls it down the right field line. He's 2 for 2 today, 2 singles.
Change up there. You love to see young pitchers being able to get back in counts with all speed pitches.
Back toward the box. Pivetta's got it. That'll retire the side. However, the Orioles get a couple runs to take the lead. We'll move to the bottom of the fifth. It's Baltimore 3 and the Phillies 2. For the fifth inning, Aaron Altair is scheduled to lead things off, and he'll do so against a new pitcher for the Baltimore Orioles. It'll be right-hander Michael Gibbons, who takes over for Jason Aquino. Aquino looks strong for Baltimore. Gibbons last year 8-2 with an ERA of 3.13. He pitched in 66 games a season ago. 96 strikeouts in 74 2/3 innings for Gibbons. Former second-round pick in 2009. He signed his professional contract instead of going to Oklahoma State. That's where he was scheduled to play. It's a big-time program. He'll face Aaron Altair.
Got the same colors.
That is true. He said, I'm going to get an orange glove. What if you don't go to Oklahoma State? Well, I'll roll the dice that Somebody will take me, I can use it. Swing and a miss, 0-2. I have an orange glove, Ben.
You do?
Yep. I showed you a picture of it.
When you got this winter?
Did. It was at the Williamsport Crosscutters banquet, which is one of my favorite banquets on the hot stove circuit. And it was Pete Mackanin, myself, and Tom O'Malley. As Aaron Altair goes down on strikes for the first out. And Tom, who played a long time over in Japan and has been a long time coach in Japan. Well, he's a legend there.
Yeah.
So one of the glove companies over in Japan, they have a Tom O'Malley model glove. Well, he was nice enough to bring it to the event and use it as part of an auction item. And I won it.
Bid on it and won it.
I bid on it and I won it. So I have an orange glove.
Match your sneakers.
That's right.
It's just what the McCarthy house needed. Another glove.
Another glove. Outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. I will say, though, that the leather is much different than the leather that you get here in the States with the Wilsons and the Rawlings. And it has been difficult to break in.
It's a lot firmer.
Kingery hits it the opposite way. And it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
You can see why Givens has so many strikeouts, though. It's a funky delivery, but the ball just gets on you. Got a tight little slider as well.
Kind of drops down with it there.
Yep.
And it's 1-2. Saw him in the postseason in that game against the Blue Jays. He went 2 1/3 in the wild card game against the Blue Jays. He is from nearby Tampa. Kingery slams one deep to left field. It is gone. A home run for Scott Kingery has just tied this ball game up at 3.
Think about a short swing. See, it's not about how big you are, Tom. It's how quickly you can get to the ball. Nice short swing there, and that's gonna make him feel so good, but a good looking swing. Not much to that swing, but it is short and it is quick.
And for Givens, getting some work, not too pleased. Delivers at the D's. You see that fastball 95. This is a guy who started his career as a professional as a shortstop. And he was converted to a pitcher back in 2012. A 1-hopper flagged down by Mancini. 2 outs.
I'd like to see him throw it across the diamond, huh?
I was thinking the same thing. The Orioles, excuse me, the Padres are using Christian Bethancourt as a pitcher, the former catcher.
Right.
I think they're going to use him. If I read the story correctly, they're going to see how he does pitching. Well, he's throwing 97 miles an hour, but they're not giving up totally on him catching, if I understand the story properly. But he was a big-time prospect in the Braves organization for a long time.
Supposed to be the next Javi Lopez.
He was, and then traded to the Padres. So now he's going to be the next Kenley Jansen. Sometimes guys get moved because they can't hit. Sometimes guys get moved because they can't field. Sometimes it's because of injuries. For Givens, it was more because of an injury. He had a bad thumb, and he just couldn't swing the bat consistently anymore.
Oh, he definitely has a bright future for the Orioles.
Line drive down the right field line. That'll be in for a hit for Kendrick. He may hold up. No, he may not hold up now, because Dickerson fell down and knocked that ball. It's going to be a double for Howie Kendrick. And the Phillies have a 2-out base runner in scoring position here in the 5th inning.
See, I like him going to the extra bag right here because there's 2 outs. If you get thrown out at second base, who cares? But now you have a runner in scoring position. Might as well just put the pressure on the defense, get in the scoring position. I like it.
So he is done for the day. Tyler Goodell is going to come in, a pinch run for him. And now Chris Coughlin, who is 0 for 1 with a walk this afternoon.
Bethencourt last year hit .228. 6 home runs. Overall, .223 career hitter. So
97.
It's just going to come down to whether the Padres think he's going to benefit the team more as a pitcher or as a catcher.
Over toward first. That'll be a foul ball. Mickey Morandini will handle it. Commissioner of fantasy Phillies fantasy camp. Tyler Goodell goes back to second. Fly ball, shallow left center field. Robert Andino camps out. Phillies settle for the run on the home run by Scott Kingery. This ball was a missile. We've completed 5. We head to the 6th inning. Phillies and the Orioles all tied up at 3. The Orioles tied up at 3 as we go to the top of the 6th inning. Chris Dickerson a home run. Tommy Joseph a 2-run home run. Scott Kingery's also homered for the Phillies. And now Nick Pivetta begins his 3rd inning of relief work. Now Nick is trying to stretch himself out for not only the season but also for the World Baseball Classic. So this first week of spring games, you don't necessarily see a guy pitch into his 3rd inning. But he must have stretched himself out earlier on the backfields. Both teams have bullpen action.
I do think the leash on Nick will be very short this inning.
I would agree with that. Will Morris is warming up for the Phillies. He's number 95 up from the minor league camp. There he is. Logan Schaefer is 0 for 1. He's walked and he's popped out. Liner out to right field. Dylan Cousins, who just came in. And now Chris Johnson. Chris Johnson 1 for 2. Chris, we mentioned, played for the Marlins last year and now over with the Orioles. Kind of a homecoming for him because his dad, as he's hitting the elbow with that pitch, his dad is the AAA coach for the Orioles system, so he's gotten a chance to hang with him a little bit during spring training. And now he will exit. There's some of the changes for the Phils. Goodell came in a pinch run as in left. We mentioned Cousins. Florimond's at short, and Logan Moore is catching. Craig Gentry is pinch running now for the Orioles. There he is. And Tavares, who is 0 for 2 with 2. Ben, count them, 2 fielder's choices.
1-2.
First one, he smoked to right field. High chopper over the head of Tommy Joseph, flagged down by Kingery, and everybody is safe. And not much you could do there because Tavares was running well and running quickly.
A funny game we play. His first at bat, it's a bullet to right field. It's nothing to show for it. This one able to get over the head of Tommy Joseph for a single, infield single.
Now Caleb Joseph. Joseph is 0 for 2, a fly out to right, a pop out to third. Played 49 games last year for the Orioles. We mentioned hit 174. A little better the year before in 100 games and hit 234. Off the hand, slowly to shortstop. That could be 2. There's 1, and a quick release by Kingery, and Pivetta is able to get through this 6th inning. So 2 runs allowed by Pivetta in 3 innings of work. Got a little defense from his middle infielders to get out of the 6th.
Can you
Well, back here at Spectrum Field, we're tied up at 3 as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. 3 innings of relief for Nick Pivetta before he heads out to the World Baseball Classic. How about this release by Kingery at second base?
You're not going to find one any quicker. You know you have a catcher running. Flourmont gets to it, and this is just in and out of Kingery's glove at second base. That is just lightning. It's a great feed, but just that is as quick as you're going to see. Well done.
Zach Stewart is the new pitcher for the Orioles. They have changed everybody out on the diamonds. So those are the numbers for Stewart. 12 games, 8 starts, 1-2 with a 3.43 ERA, but that was in 2015. He has not pitched in the big league since 2012. Lifetime, he's 3-10 with a 6.82 ERA. In the big leagues is Michael Franco. Bounces one toward the Phillies dugout. It'll be Franco, Saunders, and then Tommy Joseph. Those are the scheduled hitters for the Phillies here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 0-2. Tommy chatting with
Dusty Wathan,
Phillies AAA manager, Lehigh Valley. Dusty Wathan. I almost said Phillies AA manager. That's why I hesitated. As Franco waves over the top of that pitch. Dusty did a fantastic job with the Reading Fightins last year. Now gets a chance to move up a level. Greg Legg is going to be in Reading with the Fightins. Michael Saunders 0 for 2.
Not the best at bat there for Michael.
No, that last pitch had some pretty good movement on it. But I think overall you're right.
But the first 2 swings were just kind of wild swings.
Ground ball to second, kicked by Coyle, but he still throws Saunders out. 2 outs, 2 quick outs, just 3 pitches. They get 4 pitches. That was the 4th. Tommy is homered today as he takes at the knees. It's 0-1. Fly ball center field. Gentry comes running in. An easy inning for Stewart as he sets the Phillies down 1-2-3. And they're half of the 6th inning. On to the 7th. Orioles and the Phils still tied up at 3. Day will be Sunday, April 9th at 1:35 when the Phillies take on the Washington Nationals. How about that giveaway right there? It's the hooded sweatshirt, free to fans 14 and younger. Order your tickets now at Phillies.com. Tied up at 3 as we go to the top of the 7th inning. Phillies with 3 runs on 4 hits. The Orioles 3 runs on 7 hits. Let's check in with Greg Murphy.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Well, I'm here with Phillies shortstop Freddie Galvis, and always good to talk to Freddie. You getting in the swing of things? As I know you've had a busy winter. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But you know, back out here in Clearwater, playing with these guys. You enjoying yourself so far?
Yeah, always a good time to be here, man. Like I just say, just working, try to get everything on page, and try to get ready for the season.
One of the words working is something that you've talked about. We spent a little time together in the winter, and you talked about working and trying to just improve every aspect of your game. A lot of talk about the on-base percentage and base hits and getting on base. Where are you right now? How do you feel like that work is progressing?
I feel pretty good, man. I think we're getting there. This day-to-day stuff, you know, we have to keep working, keep grinding, and I think everything should be fine for the season.
Now, I know it's not something you think about all the time, but the power numbers that you had a year ago, the 20 home runs, certainly jump off the page. When you go into a new season, do you give that any kind of thought, or is that the kind of thing that just happens out there in the course of the game?
Yeah, it just happen in the game, you know. Just try to go day by day, trying to do a good work, try to play for my team, try to win some games, you know. If the homers come, it's good, but I just try to stay in my lines, try to play my game and do the work for my team.
You're a veteran player at this point of your career, Freddie, and the talk of leadership has followed you now over the last couple of years. Pete Mackanin says when he talks about leadership in the clubhouse, you're always the first name that he brings up. Is that something that you embrace? Do you enjoy that role?
Yeah, I try to put all my teammates in the same page. Try to stay together. I think that's one of the biggest stuff on the game. You know, try to be on the same page always. And I think we have a lot of good guys that do the same good job too. I think Andres Blanco, he do a good job. Now we have Howie Kendrick and a few guys more. I think they're gonna help the young guys too.
All right, before I let you go, you had a busy offseason. You didn't have an offseason. You won a championship in the Venezuela Winter League. That had to be a great experience, and you went and played in the Caribbean World Series as well. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, that was one of my goals, and I want to be there and try to get a championship. This year we won. That's good, man. And I tried to go to the World Series. That was in my checklist, you know, too. And I went there. I have a good time. We played good, and you know, happy to do something for my team back in Venezuela.
All right, the championship there, maybe championship here, coming soon. Freddie, thanks for your time as always.
All right, thank you.
All right, guys, back upstairs.
All right, Murph, we appreciate that. As the batter is Joey Rickard, and Elniri Garcia is the new pitcher for the Phils. It is true, though. Freddie has become himself a leader. And Murph was right. He's, you know, you look at this young club, and obviously the Phillies have some of the veterans like Michael Saunders and Howie Kendrick who have come over. But some of the younger players like Cameron Rupp and Freddie Galvis, I mean, they're emerging now as some of the leaders of this ball club.
I think Freddie's really assumed that role after the departure of Chooch. You know, Freddie's that guy that always finds you in the clubhouse, shakes your hand, always has a big smile on his face, much the way Chooch did.
By the way, see Brock Stassi there. We just listed a couple of the changes the Phillies have in this inning, not only with Garcia out on the mound, but also Logan Moore behind the plate and Taylor Featherston over at third base. Breaking ball, and it's 1 ball, no strikes. For Garcia, this will probably be a 2-inning experience, but it just depends on how he does with this first inning. He's 22 years old, out of the Dominican Republic. He was 12-4 last year with Clearwater with a 2.68 ERA. So if anybody is going to be comfortable with this mound, it is going to be him. He is listed as the 22nd prospect on a handful of different publications for the Phils. Good off-speed pitch, fastball that ranges between 92 93 miles an hour, and the Phillies added him to the 40-man roster this past offseason. Runner goes. Pitch is swung on a miss. Throw to second base by Moore, and it's not in time. Well, he picked the right pitch to run on because it was something soft, and Logan Moore was an outstanding defensive catcher. Just couldn't get the ball down to second base in time.
It was something soft, but what really threw me off as a catcher is when a hitter would swing, because he didn't have that great a jump, but when a hitter would swing, it just throws off your timing. You have to make sure you don't reach out and get catcher's interference. And sometimes it seems like their body would start to creep across home plate, and you trying to avoid that.
Here's Florimon near the second base bag, and there are 2 outs.
Designated Yermin Mercedes.
He is smooth out there, isn't he?
He is. Here is Yermin Mercedes for the Orioles. How about the year he had last year? Look at that. I mean, that's only in the South Atlantic League, which is excellent. 353 with 14 home runs. He also got 31 games in High A in Frederick. He combined to hit 345 with 20 home runs and 77 runs batted in.
I don't care if that's Little League. Those are ridiculous numbers.
1 ball and 1 strike. It's over. It's 1-2. He's a catcher by trade, but also can play a little first base and has played some third base. Little looper out toward left center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit, and the Orioles will take the lead. An RBI single by Mercedes, and it's now a 4-3 ball game.
Second baseman Sean Coyle.
Wasn't hit terribly hard, but gets enough of it to dump it into left center field. No stride. The only thing that hurt Garcia there was the ball was elevated. That ball is down a little bit more to ground ball to shortstop.
Sean Coyle takes a breaking ball. Coyle signed a minor league contract with the Orioles this past offseason. Hits that one past the diving Featherston down the left field line. It hits the half wall, and Goodell's got to track it down. They're waving Mercedes home. Goodell's throw to the plate is cut off, but the exchange goes right past Logan Moore, and it hits Cisco outside the on-deck circle. And Mercedes is able to score. It's now a 5-3 ball game. And Coyle goes all the way to third base. They had Mercedes dead to rights. And the throw just whizzed right on by Logan Moore. There wasn't much more could do.
Yeah, I think Featherston doesn't see Mercedes stumble around third base. He thinks he's really got to hustle and actually had more time than what he thought. And Cisco got smoked on deck.
He did get smoked. There's your stumble, Ben.
How he didn't go down.
So Chance Cisco will bat here, despite the fact that he got nailed by the throw as it went past Logan Moore. Cisco last year played on 2 different levels. Hit 317, 6 homers, 51 RBIs. What's up with these catchers, Ben? Hitting over 300.
That's how we roll.
Well, you know. 2 on that fastball. 22 years old, Elneri Garcia. And ball 4. So Cisco walks. And that puts runners on 1st and 3rd.
Center fielder Craig Gentry.
And Craig Gentry will be the hitter. Bob McClure is heading out toward the mound. I think this might just be to get through the inning, and he may be done after this. He was scheduled to go 2, but they do not have anybody warming up just yet. Looks like somebody's starting to pop up one more time.
Well, give him a breather.
There's nothing health-wise because he's throwing 92, 93.
Yeah.
That's his velocity. It's more about, hey, you got to do this, this, and this to get yourself back into the strike zone.
You like to see him make competitive pitches. That 3-2 pitch to Cisco, it's a ball out of his hand. So gotta be better.
Craig Gentry, the hitter, had a breaking ball. That's a good pitch. The ball's in 1 strike. There's Jeff Singer. According to MLB.com, the pipeline, you mentioned that he's 22nd rated prospect. They have him as the 19th rated prospect. Good thing about him last year is, here in Clearwater, he made 19 starts. It was his first year with a full season club. And to go 12-4, it's not too bad.
Yeah.
22 years old. Curveball hit to the right side. Kingery getting to it quickly, flips it over to first in time. A run does score in a very odd way. Actually, 2 runs scored to give the Orioles a 5-3 lead as we go to the bottom of the 7th. Focuses on the obstacles women face in sports, both on and off the field. Log on to csnphilly.com/tomboy for inspiring stories like our own Dee Lynham. Talks about growing up in a basketball family and being a woman covering sports, the sports that she loves. Home half of the 7th inning here in Clearwater, Florida. Hope you're enjoying yourself wherever you're watching Phillies baseball. These are the changes for the Orioles that came in last inning. Just want to make sure if you got your scorecard out. You know who was in the game, including Chance Sisco, who's catching. We'll have another page that will update, because this is what we call here in spring training, Ben, wholesale changes. There they are. Logan Moore leads it off. And they take strike one. Zach Stewart threw 6 pitches in the first inning of work. Retired the Phils in order 1, 2, 3. It's low, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. I mentioned that Stewart has not pitched in the big leagues since 2012. He's out of Texas Tech. He gets Logan Moore to roll over on 1 to first. The last 2 years he has spent time in Korea, where he was 20-10 with an ERA of 3.73. So he is the 6th player who played baseball in Korea to sign a major league contract this year. So he's hoping to, after 2 years, and maybe fine-tuning some things. Right. In a hitter-friendly league, obviously not the same as MLB, that he can come back and make it here in the big leagues. You know, Darren Ruff just signed a contract with Korea. David Buchanan is playing, is no longer playing in the States. Jimmy Paredes is gone. All these guys are hoping that not only they make some extra cash, because they will, but also get themselves maybe back to a major league team eventually.
Sometimes it just takes different change of scenery to get you back to where you need to be.
One ball, 1 strike to Altair. Inside, just missed him. It's 2-1. Well, this past year, the Brewers signed a guy that the last 3 years has had 37, 47, and 40 home runs in Korea. Eric Timms, who has played in the big leagues before. The Phillies have Hector Gomez in camp this year. He had 21 home runs last year in Korea.
It's a nice way for some players to make some extra cash.
Yeah, I think Darren Ruff's contract was a little over $1 million.
Correct.
Inside, ball 4. And Altair draws a walk. Did you ever at any point give a thought to play over in Japan?
No. I did not.
Well, if you did, you could have come back and represented Team USA in this year's World Baseball Classic. Ben has always been independently wealthy. He never needed some extra cash.
Yeah.
That you referred to. Gingrich homered his last time up. He lined out to third his first time up. Will be followed by Florimon. And a liner out toward left center field. That'll be in for a base hit. Altair will put the brakes on at second as Gentry got it in. Nice day at the plate for Scott Kingery.
A short swing, bullet to left center. I think Aaron was thinking third base all the way here, but the ball just hit too hard. See Aaron, and they worked on that today, first to thirds. But I think it was just, A, he had to make sure the ball was down, but B, it was hit too hard.
So now Florimon, last year in AAA, hit .255. Fly ball left field. Rickard comes in, says he's got it, and there are 2 outs. And here comes Tyler Goodell. Tyler Goodell is going to benefit. You see bullpen action. Cody Sedlock warming up for the Orioles. Tyler Goodell is going to benefit with an opportunity to, I would think, go down to AAA and play every day, or get an opportunity to play somewhere every day in the minor leagues, AA, AAA, because the Phillies were able to keep him on the roster all of last year. Hit 192 with 4 home runs. Had a month spurt where he was hitting the ball really well and was playing every day, but didn't get the opportunities to play on an everyday basis the entire year. I think there's some intrigue to see what will happen when he goes to the, if he goes to the minor leagues and then progresses for a full season of at-bats.
Just being able to play every day, see pitches every day.
I'm not saying that he doesn't have a chance to make the roster out of spring training, but I think that, getting a chance to play and getting 400, 500 at-bats is probably what the doctor will order for him.
Find a way to get on base here. The big boy up behind you.
Swing and miss. And the side is retired. The big boy, Dylan Cousins, will have to wait to lead off the bottom of the 8th inning. Stewart's able to get through the 7th. We'll move to the 8th. Phillies trail up by 2. By 2 as the Orioles get a chance to bat here against Elniri Garcia. And he will face David Washington, who is up for the first time for the Orioles in this ball game. Let's see if Garcia is able to settle in here after his struggles with his command in that 7th inning. Orioles have taken a flyer on Washington, who is out of the St. Louis Cardinals organization, where last year all he did was hit .259 with 30 home runs. He strikes out there, which he did 169 times in 127 games in the minor leagues. That's a lot of strikeouts. And then 1 out here in the top of the 8th inning. Eric Salcido is the batter. Bouncer to shortstop. Pedro Florimon, short-handed shortstop, makes the play. Garibez Rosa He's now the hitter for the Orioles.
One's up.
So last year, with 2 different levels at 293 with 9 home runs, bloops that out towards shallow right center. Kingery with a leaping grab, and the side is retired.
Have a day.
Couple of hits offensively, now a couple of good defensive plays for Scott Kingery. He had this sized up from the get-go. A little bit of a leap at the end. Had to stretch out to make that play. In Clearwater, Florida, where the Phillies and the Orioles are playing spring training game number 5. Each team has come in with a 2-2 record. Tom McClure had a little teaching moment with Logan Moore discussing the El Neri Garcia. I think they're talking about just pitch selection to certain hitters, Ben.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. Just to get his, what Logan was thinking and why he went with a certain pitch selection, and if it's not working in a certain time of the ball game, hey, you might want to change it up a little bit.
Yeah, I heard Bob say at one point, he said, I don't mind with an older with a veteran pitcher, but with a younger guy, and I think he was talking about what he wanted what kind of approach he wanted against certain guys. Garcia's probably done after those 2 innings. Here is Corey Sedlock for the Orioles, or excuse me, Cody Sedlock, just 9 games last year. You wondering why, Ben?
I was wondering that, Tom.
First round pick in 2016. They had to get that contract ironed out. He is an Illini, University of Illinois, which makes our traveling secretary, Frank Koppenbarger, happy that he's in the game today. And he'll face Dylan Cousins. The first pitch is there. Cesar Ramos warming in the pen. If you were in the Big Ten and you faced Sedlock, then you may have gone down on strikes, because he set the single season strikeout record for the Illini with 109 punch outs. Outside, 2-1.
I just couldn't imagine playing baseball there in the springtime. It's so cold.
Unless it's this year.
Yeah.
Cousins towering fly ball over the Phillies dugout. 2-2 to Dylan Cousins, who is a sight to see at this point in spring training based on what he accomplished last year. When you come down to Clearwater, particularly early on, you're hoping this guy's in the lineup.
A big man with a short swing.
He and Rhys Hoskins combined for 78 home runs last year in Double-A. But he also stole 21 bases. I mean, that's what I think opens your eyes. The home runs, yes, do. But the fact that he stole 21 bases and was caught only once, as he leads off the 8th inning with a single.
Sneaky fast.
I mean, who knows? They may let him fly right here.
I don't know. Maybe down 1, maybe, but maybe not down 2.
Ben, it's all about the entertainment value of the spring training game. They're going to want to show him off.
I totally forgot about that, Tom. My bad.
Featherston last year 254. 1 ball, no strikes. You know, but when Dylan Cousins was deciding on what he was going to do, you know, the Phillies drafted him. He was scheduled to go play for Rich Rodriguez at Arizona, play football and play baseball. He was going to be a defensive end. Over toward the hole, off the glove of Salcedo and into shallow left field, and the Phils have runners on first and second with nobody out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. They scored that a hit. Nick Williams is coming up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Well, you mentioned the name of Nick Williams, and when you talk about guys like Nick Williams and Scott Kingery and some of the young guys that the Phils have in their minor league system, you can't help but think about the talent that they have down there at that level. In fact, in the top 100 prospects in the minor leagues, the Phillies, well, they have 4 of them. J.P. Crawford, as we've talked about, number 2, and then you have Mickey Moniak, the number 1 pick from a year ago. Nick Williams coming in at 49, and then Jorge Alfaro as well. And Nick Williams, who grounds that one a second, could be 2. Getting down the line fast, getting down there quickly, showing a little bit of his speed. And you know, Nick Williams has been an interesting topic of conversation in the minor leagues. You know, since he's come over from Texas, he's been working with the Phillies coaching staff to kind of change his approach, to work up the middle and to use his lower half. The coach is saying that he hasn't had a chance to learn how to use that lower half, so he has been learning that over the last 2 years here in the Phillies organization. And Matt Stairs was talking about it today, saying that over the last 2 years, changing that approach has really made a difference for Nick Williams. And they're expecting good things this spring and hopefully good things in the minor leagues this year as he continues to work on that new approach, guys.
Yeah, I mean, the Phillies are hoping that, and so is Matt, and Sal Rendy, you know, and who was the AAA hitting coach. They're hoping that, you know, this kid can evolve into a special piece to the Phillies outfield. Here's Brock Stassi.
You know, Tom, it really has been a process. Of course, it's going to be, you know, a guy who's doing something the same way for years and years as Nick Williams was as he went through, you know, the early parts of his baseball career and became a professional. When he was over at Texas, it didn't seem as though, or at least Nick has said, that it just didn't teach him how to use that lower half. But once getting to the Phillies organization, it's one of the things that they've all pinpointed that they'd like to see him do. And then, you know, soft hands and hitting the ball back up the middle and using the middle of the field. So, you know, they think that it's really starting to click. You talk to any of the hitting coaches that have worked with Nick over the last 2 years, and they think it's really starting to click now. I know Matt has been very excited to watch him swing here in spring training.
Murph, did you see that swing? That ball is crushed by Brock Stassi, and the Phillies have taken the lead here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Three-pointer. Stassi's reaction was priceless. He knew it. Boy, good-looking swing there.
3-run home run by Brock Stassi. And the Phils have turned it around. They're up by 1. And you know what Murph was talking about. When you look at the swing by Stassi, he's also one of those guys. Man. Leg kick.
Extension.
Now that's using your lower half.
These young kids continue to really impress me. You're right about the lower half.
But Murph's talking about that, about the change for Nick Williams. Brock Stassi before last year, before 2 years ago, made changes to his swing. Sal Rendy, Andy Tracy, those guys really have done a nice job with the Phillies youngsters.
Whew.
Logan Moore takes low, 2-1.
Going into yesterday's ball game, they're averaging 6.7 runs per game. They're back at 6.
Well, I think it's also building of confidence too. I mean, there are roster spots open. And for a guy like Brock Stassi, who is a fantastically gifted defensive first baseman and can hit, obviously, he has a chance to break camp as an extra bat off the bench and a backup first baseman.
I asked Matt, I said, what can you attribute some of these younger guys really going up there and doing some damage? He goes, honestly, Ben, I think they're not thinking. He said it's just, they're just going up there, grabbing a bat and going up there, picking a good pitch and hitting. He said, I think maybe some of the older guys are maybe in their own heads right now, just trying to think about too many things mechanically.
Whoa. Aaron Altair, all he's thinking about is roaming around the bases. That is a bomb. And the Phils add to their lead. It's 7-5 here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
Whew. These are not cheapies by any means. I'd love to get a distance on that one.
Well, yesterday, the foul ball by Michael McHenry hit the top of the bullpen grill was 435, right?
Yes.
So that one's got to be
635.
I was going to say.
I mean, taking advantage of a pitcher's mistake.
Some quick hands. Scott Kingery takes inside 1-0. Over to third, and that's another base hit for Kingery. It's going to be his third of the day. It's going to be a second extra base hit as he pulls into second. A home run, a single, now a double.
I can't believe he hadn't hit a triple yet. What a day.
Now 7 runs on 10 hits. Roger McDowell is the first-year pitching coach for the Orioles, and he's going to go out and talk to his young pitcher, the #1 pick from this past year for the Orioles. Buck Showalter has John Means warming up. All right, let's watch Kingery again.
The same short swing we saw on the homer and on the single. The bullet he hit to left center. You see it again here in the double. If you're Matt Klentak, you just have to be, and Pete McCannon on down, you just have to be so excited about what you're seeing out of these young position players. You have to be. I know it's spring training, you shouldn't get too excited.
Fly ball to center field. But I still think it's eye-opening to see the youngsters do what they did. I mean, the Phillies sent 8 men to the plate in this inning. They scored 4 runs. They got 2 home runs, including one by Brock Stassi, and now we go to the 9th. And the Phils trying to close it out on top 7-5. Up at Citizens Bank Park. It'll start with Friday's Nemours home opener on April 7th at 3:05. And don't forget, on Sunday, April 9th at 1:35, Cavity Busters Kids Opening Day. You like that sweatshirt right there? Well, if you are under 15, you're going to get that sweatshirt. Go to Phillies.com to purchase your tickets right now. The young lady has stuck around to see some home runs today for the Phils, including a 3-run shot by Brock Stassi in the bottom of the 8th inning and a solo shot by Aaron Altair. Now Cesar Ramos will start it off in the top of the 9th inning for the Phillies. Ramos last year with the Rangers, 3-3, an ERA a little over 6. And Joey Rickard will start it off for the Orioles. Over to short, Florimon. He's made every play cleanly here today.
He is smooth.
Every team needs middle infield depth, and the Phillies certainly would love to have some also. Now here's Dario Alvarez, excuse me. On the inside corner, 0-1.
Wonder what my roommate has planned for our last night room together.
Yeah, if anybody knows, Murph and
probably keeping a secret.
Murph and Ben have been bunking in the same condo over the last few days. Murph has been acting as Ben's landlord, not roommate.
Let's be clear, we're not roomies.
You're the landlord.
There's a delineation between the the landlord and the tenant. I have no plans tonight, Ben. I'm sorry.
I think as the tenant, you're supposed to establish the plans.
Still early yet. I'm sure he's got something up his sleeve.
No balls and 2 strikes to Alvarez. Last year at 288 with 4 home runs in the minors. Curveball to third. Featherston is there.
Strong arm.
2 outs. And now Mercedes up for the second time. So the Phillies today got 2 scoreless from Clay Buchholz. Yenmar Gomez pitched 1 inning, allowed a run. Nick Pivetta allowed 2 runs in 3 innings of work. Neri Garcia, he allowed a couple of runs. Ball and 2 strikes to Mercedes. We'll be back on Friday on TCN. The Minnesota Twins will be here in Clearwater, 1 o'clock. These are getting close to wrapping up their first week of games. 1 ball, 2 strikes, trying to wrap up a win here today. Top of the 9th inning. Good pitch from Ramos. Fouled back. Phillies will be on the road the next couple of days here in Florida. Never too far, though. Port Charlotte, the home of the Rays. Dunedin, home of the Blue Jays. That's actually the closest minor league team, or excuse me, spring training home.
Right where Logan wanted it. Mercedes laid off.
Fly ball left field. That should do it. Tyler Goodell heading back toward the track is under it, makes the catch. And the Phils have won it today by a final score of 7-5 as they come from behind to take this one. The home run by Stassi was a big deal. Kingery had 3 hits today. Stassi's 3-run home run erased the deficit and gave the Phils the lead for good. Kingery not only played well defensively after dropping the ball in the first inning, but he also finished with 3 hits here this afternoon for the Phillies. So a nice way to come from behind and win this one for the Phils. Time for our W.B. Mason deliveries of the game.
A lot to choose from, that's for sure. But in the 8th inning, Stassi comes up, 2 men on base. A long home run to right field. Nice play by that fan. On the berm, put the Phillies up by a run. Then Aaron Altherr comes up and crushes one. That ball was just hammered. Nice to see Aaron get on the board. There are your W.B. Mason deliveries of the game.
So the Phillies win it 7-5. They're now 3-2 here in spring training. And I think, Ben, when you think about being 3-2, you have to preface it by saying, yes, it's only spring training. But you mentioned it. Some of the younger players, whether it be Kingery or Stassi or Rhys Hoskins, I mean, they're showing something here these first few days.
They sure are. Again, I know it's spring training, like you said, but you still want to. You put that uniform on for a reason, to win ball games, and it's nice to see these young guys coming through and really. I mean, they're performing at a rate right now that I think Pete McCann and these guys are just so happy to see the level of baseball that they're playing.
And honestly, some guys come in and they may feel like they're tight, but they're not showing that in these first few games. But
they're taking advantage of all the opportunities being presented to them, because obviously the Phillies starting 9, they're not going to be playing 9 innings, especially this early. So when these guys are getting in the games, I mean, they're just ready to rock and roll, and like you said, taking advantage of it.
So 7-5 the final score. That young lady is happy that the Phils have come away with a victory here this afternoon. And one of the youngsters who the Phillies have on their radar at second base had himself a heck of a day today, and that's Scott Kingery. He's down with Greg Murphy.
All right, thank you very much, Tom. Yeah, a heck of a day, as Tom just said, for you. The 3 hits, some good defense as well. Let's just talk about, I mean, at this point, when you come into your first major league camp and you get an opportunity to play, this is the kind of outing that you would like to have, obviously, maybe open some eyes.
Right, yeah. You know, I was getting my first start in big league camp this year, and just wanted to prove that I could play, you know, just show a little something and just go out there and have fun. And, you know, obviously getting a couple knocks early helps you have a little bit of fun and relax a little bit out there.
I was going to ask you, is there a moment, and I don't know if it's during a game or if it's, you know, a couple of days ago, where the idea that, wow, I'm in big league camp, you know, kind of goes to the back and you say, all right, now I'm here and I've got a job to do. Has that happened for you yet?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the first couple of days here, it's pretty surreal. You know, whether it's, you know, the MLB or big league spring training, you're playing with the big league guys, so it's a pretty surreal experience. But yeah, that was the first couple days, and then you get used to it, and you start talking with some of the guys, getting to know them, and then you just feel like you're playing with your teammates out there.
You know, when you hear guys talk about you, whether it be the folks in the front office or folks that have watched you play over the last couple of years in Arizona, you hear words like gritty and hardcore and hard-nosed and, you know, gamer. Those are all great words to be attached to a ball player. Is that something you pride yourself on?
Yeah, definitely. I try to go out there and play with the chip on my shoulder every day. It's how I was brought up and just the way I've always played my game, and I try to carry that over into, you know, every level that I'm at, every single pitch. I try to just run everything out. If there's a ball that probably going to be an out, I'm going to run hard. Maybe he rushes it, makes an error. I'm just going to try to bust it down the line and, you know, try to make the other team make an error and let me give a chance to help my team.
Your teammates will certainly appreciate that. The folks in the seats will as well. Scott, thanks for your time. Congrats on a great day. Guys?
All right, Murph, we appreciate that. Scott Kingery had 3 of the 10 hits for the Phils here this afternoon. They win at 7-5 as Pete Mackanin meeting with the Philadelphia media, wrapping things up like we will when we come back.